turnover tax that is being proposed. Of course, there has been this ambition by the government to bring everyone on board. What challenges does this pose, especially going to enforce it for people that are earning the much that is being targeted this time?
Yeah, the essence of tax is that it must be simple, it must be predictable, and it must be easy to collect administratively. You cannot have a tax regime which is very difficult to implement. I think the challenge with turnover tax is you are targeting essentially what the government has been calling mamamboga and the hustlers. These are the people you are targeting. And I think that narrative has been there for the last 9 months since this government came to power. You remember when the president said, everyone who's 18 and above as an ID has to pay tax. Or everyone who is on Safaricom, 30 million, why should only be 6-7 million be taxpayers? So that narrative that everyone must pay tax, I think is wrong. I think everywhere in the world, tax has a threshold. Because people earn income in order to improve their well-being. People have other needs. People have needs. They have children to go to school. They have, they have medical challenges. They have a lot. So if the government should not always believe that they know how to look after the lives of Kenyans. So that you say, give us the tax, we will know how to look after you. No, I think we should allow Kenyans to have disposable income in their pockets. But let me just also in the same breath say that there are some issues which have been mentioned here which are not really correct. There's all over the world, subsidies are there. We should not be told that subsidies should not be there on consumption. In Europe, from 2021 up to now, all the governments in Europe have spent over 800 billion euros in subsidies, including on VAT cuts on petrol and on energy and many other things to make the cost of living cheaper because of what has happened in wherever. So it happens on food, on fuel. You can actually to make the lives of people cheaper by providing subsidies. I think you cannot say the government finds it comfortable to give subsidy to Kenya Power and Lighting, which is making profit in that particular year. You remember 2 years ago, the government gave a lot of money, over 7 billion. That same year, KPLC made 3 billion for Ndindi Oro and his other shareholders. Kenya Airways has taken nearly 50 billion. It is okay for the government to give subsidy to institutions and other, people that are paid, Uchumis and many other companies. But they find it difficult to provide subsidy to somebody who is starving, who needs to get a few shillings in order to be able to buy food. But lastly, I want to comment on the issue of cost of living. Cost of living, let me just say, is about the cost, the price of food in the market, the price of things in the market. And this price is based on the cost of production. And you have said in Mtuku very clearly, cost of production is affected by energy. It has gone up. 60% power and lighting has gone up in the last few months. The second one is power. The second one is taxes. So many taxes are going up. We don't have time to go through them. But I'm actually very disappointed that the people in manufacturing and other important sectors have not been given adequate time, because there are many areas in manufacturing where the taxes, excise duties and VATs and others that have been introduced, including 10% and so forth, is going to make things very expensive and the cost of production will be high. Right. Lastly, fuel. So those three things, fuel going up, taxes going up, energy going up, you cannot expect to see cost of living going down. In fact, the macroeconomic indicators are all heading south. Interest is going up. Inflation is going up. Exchange rate is getting worse. The shilling is going to 140 plus. The fiscal deficit. So all indications, and I want to disagree with the minister. All the challenges we have had in this country, the reason why we are talking about lack of food insecurity, housing, medical, is governance.
Right.
They should know that the bottom line is we must address the issue of governance in this country. If they can tell us loud and clear that we are not going to deal with corruption, that's a governance issue. If they don't deal with the governance issue, we will be talking about housing, disease, education, all these problems for the next 50 years again. And I think that is the challenge that every government should address.
Okay. And Molen, looking at